Hi, hello, and good afternoon, everybody, or wherever you're coming from.
Yes, welcome everybody. I think we are off to start now. So please do use the chat box to introduce yourself, tell us where you're connecting from, and also any research you're working on. And I think we're good to go. So welcome everyone to the launch of the Transformative Research Challenge. We are extremely happy and very honored to host this important event today and to welcome you and such a broad and diversified audience that is coming from all around the globe. Your interest and presence here today really prove the crucial and active role that youth is playing in the current challenges the world is facing, and more specifically, the passion and the potential that youth have to transform food system to help end hunger worldwide. And because that is the main goal that gathers all today.
Yes, and before starting, let us quickly introduce myself. So I'm connecting from Brussels, and my name is Michelle, and I'm working in the FAO liaison office here as a partnership and liaison specialist.
And yeah, just to complement, I'm connecting from Vienna, and my name is Agustina, and I'm also working as a communication and outreach expert at FAO.
Yes, so we will be your moderators today, leading you jointly with our World Food Forum team today through our hour-long session to illustrate the role of youth and to give a broader understanding of what the Transformative Research Challenge is, how it works, its objectives, and to also answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, because at FAO, what we really want to do is to mobilize action and to identify solutions to address the threat of food security that are now more real now than ever, and have become even more important today with the pandemic situation we are facing. I think we are all aware of that. So in recent times, we can say that youth have really stepped up and have been demanding for politicians to step up as well, to take action against the issues that we are currently facing. And we are very, very happy to say that in FAO, or higher management has also realized the potential of youth and have acknowledged the importance of listening to us. So we have been putting words into action, and for that, a FAO Youth Committee was set up, and the World Food Forum was born, and that's why we are here today.
Yes, and the World Food Forum is a movement and a network created for and led by youth to spark a movement to transform our agri-food system. We will dive into that more later on, but to say the least, we're very ambitious and we have so many exciting activities and events to provide a platform to empower and harness the voices of youth.
Exactly. No, thank you very much, Michelle, because this academic research challenge that we are launching today is an activity under the World Food Forum umbrella, and it's serving as an opportunity to empower youth to present game-changing solutions that may transform our agri-food system. That is the main goal. And as we know, we are faced with many issues today, such as the triple burden of malnutrition, hunger, food waste and loss, climate change, and this is just to name a few. So all those challenges, they really halt our sustainable development and hinder the livelihoods of many. So we all know, of course, that those are not easy challenges to solve, and we need to take concrete actions, to trigger the dialogues, to drive awareness, and to really try to foster engagement in support of our agri-food system transformation through education, through innovation, and through research. Those are the three main things.
Yes, and let me go into our agenda for today. We are extremely honored to have Ms. Ismahen Laufi, FAO Chief Scientist, among with us to kickstart the session by sharing with us her views and what is the crucial role that youth can play for the agri-food system transformation. Next, our colleague Lorenzo will go into details about what the World Food Forum is and what we want to achieve. Followed by that, we will have a complete session on the Transformative Research Challenge presented by Caroline, our FAO co-lead for the innovation track, to provide an overview of the challenge. And then we have Rodrigo from One Planet Solutions that will finally present a specific example of her research. And we will have a short Q&A after that with the FAO Chief Scientist and the World Food Forum team. Also in our chat boxes, we also have our World Food Forum team, Matteo and Ed. So keep your questions coming in already in the Q&A box and do give a thumbs up for the questions that you would also have like to ask. So let us start. It is now our pleasure to introduce Ismahen Laufi, the first ever FAO Chief Scientist, a new position created in FAO's core leadership structure. Ismahen has 2 decades of experience in agricultural research and development in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. For 9 years, she has led the International Center for Biosaline Agriculture, an international nonprofit applied agricultural research center in Dubai with a unique focus on marginal environments. She is consistently ranked among the 20 most influential women in science in the Islamic world, and has recently also been listed in the top 10 women who are changing the landscape for leadership by the New York Times. So without further ado, Mrs. Alaufi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you, Augustina. It's really a pleasure to be with you today. So let me first say hello to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the World Food Forum. So as Michelle said, my name is Ismahan El-Wafi. I'm the new chief scientist of FAO, and I'm really honored to have the opportunity to be with you today. This is an event really that represents an intersection of my experience and passion. I really love empowerment of youth, particularly girls, and particularly in science and technology. And there is no need, we don't need ever, I mean, in nowadays, we need more than ever science and technology as we are talking about transforming our agri-food system to achieve sustainable development goal and to have zero hunger. So really, when we talk about agri-food system, it's a huge system. And a system that by some numbers, people say it is affecting about 4.5 billion employment. So when we talk about transformation, it's a big word. It's a huge undertaking. And we need science and innovation to do this transformation right. And we need youth to really think out of the box and do something innovative. So before I joined FAO, I worked as a researcher and a scientist for many years. And I always believed that science should be the key driver for sustainable development and should always underpin decision-making. And that in everything we do on a daily basis, all decisions that government takes or policymakers takes. But it's not always a straight line and it's not always done. But this belief, because I believe in it really hardly and wholeheartedly, has helped me to grow into holding senior scientific and leadership position in different countries and different organizations. I always say that I visited more than 55 countries. I have lived for at least 6 months in more than 10 countries or even more. And that really gave me a good understanding and maybe also a good appreciation of the diversity we have on planet Earth. And now in my current role, I'm focused on many of the same initiatives to ensure that decisions is in service of sustainable development on a global scale are backed up by science, technology, and innovation and evidence. So that really we use what we know to really take the best decision. And that doesn't mean that the decision wouldn't change, because as we discover more things, we understand it in a different way, or maybe some of the theories that we have in mind got completely outtaken. So we have to keep that flexibility of looking for information and changing our decision to fit what we know. So I'm also a member of the scientific group of the 2021 UN Food Systems Summit, among 26 other members. I have really the honor to be with them. And I'm also a judge of the World Food Forum Transformative Research Challenge that we're going to be talking about today. So this novel youth-led event, the World Food Forum, is the reason why we are all here today. And it is a testament to the fact that young leaders like all of you have a crucial role as scientists in improving our agri-food system. And again, thinking out of the box, thinking in a different way, not being restrained by what we have been taught as methodologies, but really thinking something new and something that could make a higher impact in a shorter time. So the fact that you are here today really shows that you recognize the importance of the SDGs, and you recognize that you have a big role in achieving a better and more sustainable future for all. However, as we enter the final 10 years, the final decade, to reach these goals, we are far behind where we need to be. And the current COVID-19 pandemic has made it even more difficult to catch up. The overall number of people who are hungry and malnourished is staggering. Today, this number, it's nearly 700 million people, and the number is growing in view of COVID crisis and in view of the lockdown that we have seen all over the world. So when we think about it, 2021, and we still have 700 million people that goes empty tummy and very malnourished every night to bed. Another 139 that's going to add up million. It's really not so much a rosy picture. And while more and more people go to bed hungry, an estimated 1/3 of the food produced globally is lost or goes to waste. So as you know, we know that we have about 14% that gets as waste, and we have about 17% that goes as a loss. But in total, we have about 30% of what we produce that is not used by human beings, whereas we have people that are dying from hunger and malnutrition. So it is clear that during an unprecedented pandemic like COVID-19, protecting public health is everyone's first priority, and we cannot debate it. But we also need to keep in mind that without food, and particularly nutritious food, there can be no health. So as policymakers, particularly, but also as human beings, we have to take care of our health, and we have to remember that our health is actually an outcome or an output, basically, of what we eat and how we live our life. It's the lifestyle and it's the food. To me, really, this is very unacceptable. We are producing enough. However, we have a lot of hungry and malnourished people. We know about the problem. We know about the solutions. We need more innovation for sure to make it maybe less costly, but still it's not done. And that's why I think we have, and this year we must really take urgent action to sustain food security and sustain livelihood of the people that are the most vulnerable. In fact, the amount of food that we create in the world today is enough to feed every single person. So we must change what we produce. We must change how we produce it, because we are using way too much natural resources. And we have the ability and resources to transition to a sustainable agri-food system so that we reach zero hunger, as well as many of the other SDGs that we have agreed upon in 2015. So it is clear is that the challenge of this magnitude cannot be solved by United Nations or governments alone. It needs everyone's attention and everyone's efforts. And that's again where youth can really play a big role. So all stakeholders have to come at the same level as partners, hand in hand, discuss and find solution. And what I mean is that if we want a world free from hunger and malnutrition, we need everyone to work towards this goal. And I'm convinced of the essential role for young scientists and young researchers in helping to make this goal a reality. The participation of youth in science is vital to spark the innovation to develop the new sustainable and accessible tools and systems to achieve the SDGs. I'm very encouraged by what I see, young researchers and scientists, aspiring researchers and scientists, young at heart scientists like myself and researchers from around the world eager to contribute to the creation of a better food future. Let me give you some example of the caliber of projects by young scientists that are making a huge difference worldwide. The Climate Set Locust project, which uses weather intelligence to monitor and control desert locusts with the 360-degree early warning tool, won the 2020 CGR Inspired Challenge. And as you know, desert locusts are the second most significant threat facing food security in many parts of Africa after COVID-19. Another example is Agri-Food that won the challenge of our World Food Forum partner, Thought for Food, with a project that focuses on building solutions to grow fresh vegetable at home through vertical farming technology. Another example is Lisa Joy Flanagan, won the Altec Young Scientist with a project about livestock nutrition and production science. I'm particularly heartened to see young female scientists behind a winning project. The world really needs more women working in science and more youth at large. A final example, it's really microgene Biotech was the global winner of the AgTech Food and Water category, and also the winner of the Female Founder Award of the Extreme Tech Challenge, another World Food Forum partner. So the examples are multiple. So and I'm glad that we have many venues now to see these young scientists and young researchers and innovative youth coming up with those ideas. And I think really with digitalization, we see more and more of them. These are only a few examples, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about more scientific projects in our session today. So last week, the World Food Forum launched the Transformative Research Challenge, an international open call for researchers and inspiring researchers who want to create a better food future. So remember, please, to submit your 2-page concept note for innovative research to help transform agri-food system by June 6, 2021. The World Food Forum team will be sharing all the details now with you. And I very much look forward to seeing your innovative research ideas at the virtual World Food Forum global stage in October 2021. Another opportunity is the Food Chain Global Youth Champion Award 2021, where I'll be one of the judges there as well. And this one is with BBC. The award is open to anyone between 18 and 30 years old who is trying to change the way we deal with our food, from its production to its presentation to its consumption, in order to have a lasting effect on our relationship with food. So please do not delay your response and your application, because the deadline is the 17th of May, so basically in 3 days. So let me end up with what I think where did it go wrong in my mind. So if you look at it, we all are born as a scientist. So when we are a kid, or you look at kids are very curious. Whatever they see, they will ask, what is it? Why is it this way? Why isn't it the other way? So the curiosity, it's part of us. It's an instinct, basically. But unfortunately, I think what we are doing with our education methodologies is that we are suppressing that curiosity. We are killing it in many ways. And I would never forget, in 1999, I was at Cornell University, and I heard that there was a talk by a very, very famous and very, very famous Arab writer. Her name is Dr. Nawal Saadawi from Egypt. And she's very controversial as a person, but she's really an innovator. She really think out of the box. And I went to see it. And when I came in, she just started and she said, you know what, I'm going to try, have 1 hour with you guys. I'm going to try to undo what education does to you. And basically what she was saying, and I fully agree with it, is that we come to the world with so many instinct in us and so many curiosity, but the education make us in boxes. And that's what we need really to change. We need to harness our ability to innovate, our ability to think out of the box, because it's not serving us. And we need it in across the board. In me, we need it, but the other component we need is that does not happen with only 1 or 2 or 3 people, but with the majority of the kids that are born today. Because we need the critical mass. If we have only a few examples, it doesn't do any good to us. What we need is really a number of them, a critical mass of innovator, a critical mass of startup, a critical mass of young scientists, a critical mass of women scientists, a critical mass of social enterprise. So we need the number, because without the number, we can't get there. And the other idea I want to leave you with it is that if you look at nature, if there is one thing that we can agree on it other than beauty, nature, it's very, very beautiful. It's also diversity. Wherever you look at different colors, you find different format, different living organism. So even in the place where it seems to you the most dull, like you go to the desert and you look, it's one color. It's not one color. When you look at it, it's many, many colors. When you go into the desert and you walk in it, you see different shapes and different microorganisms and different organism that you could see with your eyes, not necessarily micro. So biodiversity is a solution for us. And biodiversity we should not look only in agriculture, but we should look in the food system. We should look in the languages. We should look in the food preparation. We should look in the use. You should look at the production level, everything. So we are made to be slightly different because that diversification enrich us as human beings and enrich the planet. And that's why we have billions and billions of organisms in the planet. It's because we feed into each other and we live together in different formats, symbiosis or food chain in different ways. But really, by the end, we are enriching each other's life. So really, I hope that this forum will really harness the diversity, will harness the innovation, and will open up a floor for the youth to really think out of the box and think, how could we transform our food system to really end hunger and malnutrition? Over to you, Michelle and Augustina. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Alouafi, for this very insightful and full of examples and of colors. And really, thank you so much because you shared your views on how to build back better together. And I think we all share those ideas here. And your presence and support here today really, really make a difference and constitute a very powerful call for all of us to be part of the solution. And the example that you shared as well of all those examples of how youth has transformed actually food systems so far through science constitute another powerful call for all of us for engagement, and we should all follow that. So really, thank you again. And yes, well, I think now we're all set, right? And I hope that everyone gets a clearer picture about this unique initiative that we are organizing here at FAO this year, and that is set to empower youth for a better future and for the benefit of everyone. So now let us continue with our colleague Lorenzo, who will give us now a more detailed overview of the forum itself and tell us more about this premier global youth event for food. So Lorenzo, over to you. We're all expecting your presentation.
Thank you, Agustina. So hello, everyone. As Agustina mentioned, I'm Lorenzo Gentile, and I'm also part of the World Food Forum family. And today I will be giving you a brief overview of the forum. So as previously mentioned, the WFF was conceived by the Youth Committee of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, which was created by FAO's Director General back in 2019 with the role of empowering youth, rejuvenating the organization in an inclusive manner, and bringing new and innovative ideas to catalyze change. But you'll probably be asking, why a World Food Forum? So next slide, please. So as rightly stated by our chief scientist earlier, while we currently produce enough food to feed every man, woman, and child in the world, there are nearly 700 million people going hungry to bed every day. And on the other side of the coin, we have 650 million people that are obese and 14% of food that is lost. And all of this is made worse by recurrent crises like pests, plagues, climate change, and now the COVID-19 pandemic, which are all worsening the global food crises. So next slide, please. So aligning with the core principles of the 2021 United Nations Food Systems Summit, the World Food Forum was conceived with the idea of mobilizing action and identifying solutions to address these threats. So it's a youth-led movement with a network to transform our food systems to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and zero hunger in particular. With events, dialogue, and outreach extending throughout this year, the WFF flagship event is set to launch from 1 to 6 October of this year. It will gather major youth groups, influencers, companies, academic institutions, nonprofits, governments, media, and the public to drive awareness, foster engagement, and advocacy, and mobilize resources in support of the transformation of our agri-food systems. Next slide, please. So the recurring forum will come to life as a week-long celebration, as I said, from 1 to 6 October of this year, featuring 6 tracks, as you can see on the screen here. So we have 3 that are the more traditional tracks. So for example, the youth action track that will try to inspire and connect young agents of change empowering them to engage in global dialogues. And this will basically take place through the organization of tailored local, regional, and global events, aiming to spark a global agri-food systems transformation. Then we have the innovation track that will basically consist of hands-on competitions for students and young professionals, including hackathons, business and research challenges like the Transformative Research Challenge, boot camps and networking events, as well as inspirational and educational content from renowned experts and emerging young leaders. And finally, on the more traditional tracks, we have the education track that will aim to provide access to knowledge, actionable solutions to drive the transformation of agri-food systems, while at the same time inspiring children and youth to create a better food future for all. And then we also have the more cultural and artistic tracks, because we're really trying to bring everyone into this movement. So we have the culinary track, or the cooking track, which will aim to bring culinary traditions and innovation at the forefront through culinary podcasts, video challenges, and cook shows. Then we have the music track that will try to harness the bonding power of culture to bring attention to our broken agri-food systems through the universal language of music. And finally, we have the film track, which will try to harness the power of film as an essential component to inciting concrete actions and solutions. So you can find all the details to these activities and initiatives in the World Food Forum website that our colleagues will kindly put in the chat. And the idea is that this event is not meant to be a one-time shot. It's not meant to start and finish this year. The WFF is supposed to be a movement, and a movement that will expand beyond 2021 and will culminate each year in a week-long celebration of how youth are really transforming our agri-food systems. With that, I'll hand it back to our lovely moderators, and thank you all.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Thank you for sharing all those details and providing a very complete overview of the ambitious initiative that we're trying to lead. I think there's so many exciting activities that everyone can take part in. Just to remind everybody to keep your questions coming in the Q&A box. I see that we have 2 questions now, but keep them coming in, and we will answer them later to the Q&A during the Q&A session with our chief scientist and also the World Food Forum team. So now I pass the floor to Carolina, who is our co-lead for the innovation track, and she will dive into the details of the challenge and tell us all about it. So Carolina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TRC official launch event. We're very happy to be here with you today. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Ismahan El-Ouafi. We're lucky to have you as our chief scientist. Thank you for such an inspiring speech. You're absolutely right. We have to keep in mind that without food, there can be no health. And thank you for pointing out the importance of having girls, women, and youth in science to transform our agri-food systems. So as Lorenzo explained, the World Food Forum started as a pathway of finding concrete solutions to the issues that he just presented, especially at a time when more than ever we need to join forces and build back better for a better new normal, because we cannot go back to those very sad figures that he just presented. So we propose a global youth event that will use science to create a better food future. And now, without further ado, I will present a very short video that will give you the whole concept of the Transformative Research Challenge in 2 minutes, and then we will go through all of the details. So bear with me for a moment. I will share the screen now. Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you like this very short video about what the Transformative Research Challenge is. And now let's see in details how it works. And as our chief scientist explained, the TRC is an open call for young researchers and youthful researchers or aspiring researchers such as yourself to create and propose innovative research solutions for a better food future. And how? Well, we're doing a call for researchers around the world to provide concrete answers that will actually help us achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, especially the Zero Hunger goal. So how does it work concretely? If we can go please to the next slide, you will see that there are 3 phases of the Transformative Research Challenge. So the first one is the one that we are in now. And as you will see, time is of the essence because the deadline is approaching very fast. So we're doing a call for teams up to 5 members to submit a 2-pager concept note proposing an innovative research idea. There are 4 categories that we're called the FAO's 4 betters, or are aligned with FAO's 4 betters, which are better production, better nutrition, better environment, and a better life. So we are inviting all of you to submit your idea, your concept note. I think the team will be sharing now the TRC website. There you will find a form and you'll be able to upload your concept note. Bear in mind the deadline, it is coming very soon. After that, we will move to phase 2. We're going to do a short list of teams by a panel of experts. And the shortlisted teams will be paired with mentors that will help them translate their idea into a concrete research output. So what do we understand by a research output? It can be a proposal for grant funding, or it can be a research article for publication. You know, it can take different forms. But after that, we're going to be asking for a more thorough paper that explains this innovative research, transformative research, and we're going to move on to phase 3. Phase 3, we will have a second shortlist, and the shortlisted teams will receive coaching, one-to-one coaching, to prepare their lightning talk in the form of a Pecha Kucha presentation that they will do during the World Food Forum in October. So maybe you remember the chief scientist saying that she will be waiting to see your ideas in October. Well, actually, she will be part of the jury. So we will have an international jury of renowned experts that will select the winners, and the TRC winner will be announced in front of a global stage in October during the World Food Forum. So if this is not enough to convince you to apply, let's go to the last slide and give you all of the reasons why you should be starting now with your concept note. So the first one, as I said, mentoring. You are going to be paired with experts and mentors that will help you translate this idea that you have in the back of your head into a very concrete research output that will help you achieve your goal. So if your goal, as I said, is to get a grant funding, they will be helping you towards that. You will also receive coaching to do a presentation in front of a global audience. So they will help you do an amazing and engaging pitch. Also, the Transformative Research Challenge is an opportunity for networking. So you're going to see participants from around the world, from this Transformative Research Challenge, but all of the other challenges that Lorenzo was mentioning, so from the innovation track, but also a global network, because the World Food Forum is that, it is a global network. Also, you will be getting visibility. So the teams that are shortlisted will be showcased in the World Food Forum website, and they will also have the chance to pitch their idea in front of thousands of people in the World Food Forum that will take place in October. And you will also get ongoing promotion because we're going to be doing case studies, social media campaigns on these solutions, and the shortlisted teams will be part of all of these campaigns. So I hope all of this motivated you to participate, and we will all be looking forward to reading your transformative research ideas. Thank you.
Well, that was a more than complete presentation, Carolina. Thank you so much for making everything so clear. And well, I hope that everyone now is as ready to engage as much as we are and to bolster innovation for sustainable development in a joint effort through this exciting challenge. So we already have a question for you to start engaging. That maybe Paola, you can share the first poll. Do you already have a research idea here in the audience? We will be interested to know. So we'll start having an idea. And well, and as mentioned by Carolina, you may submit your application as a team. And yeah, we actually have another question for you. Keep on engaging. This is not over. Question 2 for the poll. So, do you already have a team, or do you need help finding and constituting a team? So please submit your answer to also help us have a better idea and try to arrange you better. Thank you so much. I can see also in the chat box that we have some questions coming. Let us remind our attendees today, again, send in any questions, bring them over. Don't be shy. Give a thumbs up to the question that you want to be answered today. We're here for that. And so now we can also start the next phase, and let us welcome our last presenter, Rodrigo from One Planet Solution, that is also extremely engaged in supporting international development initiatives that are at the intersection of food security, of nutrition, climate change adaptability. So thank you very much, Rodrigo, also for joining us in our journey. And Rodrigo is going to share with us a specific research case here to better illustrate the possibilities of the challenge. So Rodrigo, please, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Augustina. Just checking you can hear me okay. And
You're perfect, Rodrigo.
okay, excellent. I was having some issues earlier. So hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. I'm Rodrigo Sara. I'm part of the World Food Forum, helping to organize the Transformative Research Challenge. As this is the first year of the challenge, we're casting a wide net, both in terms of subject matter, focusing on FAO's 4 betters, as well as by defining young researchers to include the aspiring and the young at heart. So we're spanning from 18 to 40 years of age. We've designed the challenge to provide as much flexibility as possible, with the objective of generating rich learnings for future iterations of the challenge. And also we appreciate that by casting such a wide net, we'll find researchers who have different needs, different capabilities and priorities, depending on their discipline, their level of experience, institutional affiliations, etc. So in this spirit, we've intentionally designed the challenge to allow tailoring to meet applicants' needs and to provide a degree of creative freedom. The 2-page concept note, of course,
Rodrigo, I'm
must
so
address
sorry.
in some way.
Rodrigo, I'm so sorry, but the sound is very robotic from your end. Could you maybe muting your mic and unmuting it to see if it makes a change?
Oh, apologies. One moment. If I get closer, is that any better?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, just a moment. And what about now? Does that make any difference?
No.
Can you try again, Rodrigo?
Does that make a difference?
I think the sound is a bit clearer, no?
Yes, now it works. Thank you, Rodrigo.
Thank you so much. Let's go.
Thank you. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. So I was mentioning that we've designed the challenge to provide flexibility. And of course, the concept note must focus on one of or more of FAO's 4 betters. But how you intend to translate that research idea from a 2-page concept note into a more comprehensive 5-pager, we're really providing a blank slate to meet your needs and priorities. We'll then work with shortlisted candidates to find mentors that are best placed to assist in that tailored transition process. And so, as Carolina mentioned, the concept note translation could focus on a research article, could focus on a research project proposal for grant funding, a plan for further developing your partnership or your scaling strategy if you have an existing research innovation that you want to translate into a tangible solution. It could be a conference presentation, or it could be a communication plan for public awareness raising. So it's a blank canvas, and it's really for you to tell us when you submit your 2-page concept note what translation support you require. And so now with this interactive part of the webinar, please be patient with any hiccups that we experience as we pass the virtual mic. We'll start with a poll, and then we'll open the floor to 3 participants who agreed to share their research ideas. And we'll have the floor for 1 minute to pitch or explain their ideas to help get your creative juices flowing. Before I open the floor, I just want to remind you that FAO's Chief Scientist, Ismahan Ilaufi, will be taking questions in the first part of the Q&A. So if you have a burning question and haven't shared it yet, now's your time, now's your chance. And the second part of the Q&A will be taking questions specifically on the Transformative Research Challenge. So if you do have any questions, please start posting those, and we can start lining them up and figuring out who is best placed to answer. Okay, so we had the poll earlier, so let's now find out the results. So we see that 41% of people do have a research idea. That's great. It's great to see that there's already some incubation and thinking going on. 59 of you are still brainstorming, and so we hope that the examples that we're about to hear help in that creative process. We also asked whether you needed help connecting with team members. So you can submit individually or as part of a team. We see that 68% of people are looking for and do need help joining a team. And so by all means, use the chat function to share your contact details, either with everybody or just with the panel. And then we'll make sure that you're put in touch with others who are also looking for potential team members. So now we can move on to our volunteers that have kindly agreed to share their ideas. And so firstly, Shangchuan, and apologies if I mispronounce, but Shangchuan Jiang, a researcher.
Hello, I hope everyone can hear me. I'm Shang Chuan, a plant scientist from the FAO Plant Production and Protection Division. And I will share what I consider to be one of the promising areas of the future agricultural research, linking the plant and the soil microbiome to sustainable plant production and protection. Harnessing plant and soil associated microbiome will offer innovative strategies to transform our agri-food system and has great potential to contribute to the 4 betters. And using multi-omic approaches, researchers have shown that optimizing the complex micro-plant soil network can facilitate crop growth and defense regulation. However, there is still great potential and need for the further development of the microbiome research in developing countries. And a multi-stakeholder consortium is necessary to explore the wide-ranging area, including the mutual benefit between the plant soil microbiome and sustainable agricultural practice, mechanization, digitalization, and other innovations. And second, how to do the plant disease prediction based on microbiome sciences under a changing climate. And additionally, how to increase the effectiveness and of the biopesticides and fertilizers. And you can tell many other aspects. So I hope every young researcher can seize this great opportunity to both increase our knowledge and to benefit smallholder farmers. And to sum up, I leave you with one thought: see the world beyond the bench. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shangchuan. And now we'll open to Fitra Jaya Piliang. She's affiliated with the Rice Mill Plant Cooperative Sayo and is based in Indonesia.
Thank you, Rodriguez. Hello, Aidan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting me as a source person for the research. I wanna introduce bioenergy for climate change mitigation as a part of, it's a part of way to end the hunger in the world, especially Indonesia. As we know, Indonesia is an agricultural country. FEO revealed that 30% of Indonesia is land is dedicated for agriculture. Unfortunately, the crop residue is still burned and produce many particles to pollute the world, including the climate change issue comes as the main problem in Indonesia. As we know, Indonesia contributes 40% of the global world potential of the global crop residue open burning. I suggest the bioenergy, especially rice-based crop residue, can be the main focus of the young research in this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vitra. And now we'll move to Lisanne van Oosterhout.
Yes, thank you. Nowadays we see, I see many different food initiatives, local producers and local food systems coming up that, as I believe, can help with many different environmental and societal challenges in cities, but also around them. However, after talking to many of them, many initiatives that I talk to and also the innovative ideas are still struggling with lack of visibility and connection with people around them, but also people in the city. And also, as Ismail and Lorenzo said already, awareness and engagement is really crucial in the transformation of the food system. Therefore, my idea is to stimulate and bring more awareness to local food networks and food initiatives, and to bring together local food producers, initiatives, entrepreneurs, and consumers via a digital, but also, very importantly, a physical food hub platform, which I call local poles, or in Dutch, lokaalpalen, which, besides the physical green oasis that the platform can offer in cities and help to make the city more greener, the digital space of the local poles can, among others, offer to order directly from the farmers to give them more value for their products via existing platforms. So make use of what is already there, to have a virtual tour and information about the farmers, land, and how they produce. To have, for example, an infographics platform in which farmers themselves can connect their input and output together and to limit waste, as already was indicated. And also a question and advice desk, for example, for municipalities, farmers, initiatives, or companies. And also a way to have more food and lifestyle advice and recipes. So many might ask, why polls? Well, I think polls can help in facilitating the interaction with citizens in physical space. And in addition, not all people have the luxury, as we have, of a phone or a laptop. So that to bring it more in a physical space might help in creating more awareness. And giving therefore everyone the opportunity and the possibility to have access to fresh, affordable, local food education, and to ask for advice, bring innovation to their community, and therefore complete and transform our food systems. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisanne. Thank you to all our brave participants for sharing their ideas. Hopefully for the 30 to 40 odd additional participants, that's helped get your creative juices flowing. I now pass back to the moderators to kick off the Q&A.
Yes, thank you, Rodrigo, and thank you as well to the three presenters for sharing your voice and also the research. I think it really highlighted like how many challenges there are in our agri-food system, but also this means that there's a lot of opportunities and entry points, for different subjects for young researchers to contribute their innovative ideas to. So yes, indeed, let's move on to the Q&A session.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Michelle, because we have now 7 minutes that are left, so it's going to be pretty intense. And I see already quite a few questions in the chat box that are both addressed to our chief scientist, who hopefully, I mean, she was very kind to stay with us until the end, and as well as general questions related to the challenge. So first, we'll start with some questions to you, Mrs. Alouafi. The first one that we got here is how can neglected and underutilized crops help us address some of the key challenges that we are facing and which research gaps exist?
Thank you very much, Agustina, and thank you for the question. So neglected and underutilized species are very important going forward. That's one of the areas that we need to produce more of. And why is it important? It's because by default, most of neglected and underutilized species are very nutritious. You think about quinoa, you think about chia, you think about millet, you think about wild tomatoes, or you take about any of these. So normally they are very, very nutritious. And as we said, we have a huge malnutrition problem. The other thing, most of the neglected and underutilized species are very good for harsh environments. So normally they have what we call abiotic stresses, that they have good tolerance to drought, or good tolerance to heat, good tolerance to salinity. So basically we could produce them in less favorable lands where we are not producing much right now. So both for the nutrition and for adaptation to climate change, they are very important because they do have that tolerance as climate change is continuing, because we are not stopping it. And as the planet is heating up, we will get more abiotic issues or abiotic stresses. So that's why neglected and underutilized species are very important for the future. The gap is that we don't have enough know-how about them. So we don't know much about quinoa. Now we know a lot because it became the crop of the year in 2013. It became very famous. Everybody know it. But there is thousands and thousands out there that we don't know. But that our ancestors use them and eat them and multiply them. So we need more research on them. And that's where science and innovation is very useful. Right now, the cost of technology is much less than ever. So before breeding a crop takes so much money. Normally, a private sector will tell you we need for every variety $100 million. In nowadays, you need much less. It has been reduced by more than 100-folds. So now we could breed varieties of these neglected and underutilized species, and we can do it in the ecosystem where they're going to be multiplied or going to be produced, so they work better. So that's why neglected and underutilized species are very important. The GFAR, the Global Forum for Agricultural Research, are writing up a paper for the UN Food System Summit on the importance of bringing back neglected and underutilized species to be part of our food system. Over to you, Augustina, yeah. Or Michelle.
Yes, no, thank you, Chief Scientist. I think it really sounds like a win-win situation.
We are between youth, so you should do it on a first name basis.
Thank you, Ishmael. Yes, no, indeed, it really sounds like a very win-win situation, increasing our nutrition diversity and also, being able to adapt to climate change. I think we really should put a spotlight on like how we, on these utilized crop to make sure they're not underutilized anymore. So we also have a second question for you. I know time is short and I thank you for your patience and for all the attendees here as well. The second question is, why is it so important that young researchers, including women and girls, engage in transformative research to end hunger and transform our agri-food system?
So Michelle, it's because we need new ideas. I mean, we have been going around and around and around. And I think really we need fresh ideas. And we need ways of mixing the issues with the tools we have. So we have solutions that that are working. We need bigger scale. So we need innovation, not in the solution itself, but in scaling up a solution as well. And that's where I think youth and new ideas and new multidisciplinary as well. So education is great, but education makes us more and more and more specialized. And most of our scientists know very well one bug or one plant or one animal or one this and one that. And what we need, it's really the only way, what we need, it's scientists that used to exist like 500 years ago and 1,000 years ago, where they used to be a medical, they know about medicine, they know about climate, they know about everything. So because our education, it's done the way we are right now, which the only way we can do that, it's bring multidisciplinary people together, but that really work together, that have not created silos in their mind and can really collaborate and work together. And I see it possible in youth. So that's why I told you I was impressed with the end doing what education is doing for us. Our curriculum has to change. There's one thing that didn't change in the world, it's universities and the way they educate. This is completely wrong. Now with all the information at the tip of finger, of a click, the way we are educating our young people should change. And I hope that coming from you, you're gonna push for that change. And the way you work together, the way you mix disciplinaries through technology might allow us to find new solutions. And for women, for me, it's a must. We are 50%, actually 50.5% of the total population. So we need more women. We can't keep the small numbers around. We need really critical women, critical number of women at all levels, not only in science, but in life, in health, in agriculture, in decision-making, in teaching, and. So women, normally by default, we should be 50-50 in everything, but we don't have that 50-50 except in few areas. So that's why we need definitely women, and it's a must for the planet, it's a must for human continuity, it's a must for prosperity per se. Over to you, my dear.
Yes, thank you so much. And your message is really strong. I think we need inclusive and equitable food system. Regardless of gender identity, food is a basic human right, and we should all have that. So unfortunately, with the time, I have to close the session today. And thank you so much. Well, Agustina, I really think it was a very great session. And there was so much information and passion that was shared here today. And I thank very much all our presenters, of our chief scientists, Ismael, Lorenzo, Carolina, Rodrigo, Ed, and Matteo, and also Paula, who is supporting us behind the scenes. Shall you have any further questions or would like us to help you find members for your team, reach out to us via our email, which our colleague will post in the chat right now. We hope that you will take part with us in this research challenge, to join our World Food Forum movement, and to find a community here, meeting the fellow innovators who will share a common vision and a common mission as well, to achieve an agri-food system that has better production, a better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life for all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. And I'm happy and proud also to join you in that call, because we are still seeking for partners, for sponsors, for experts, for mentors, to help bring this challenge to life, to real life, and to spread the word about the key issues facing our agri-food system. So any sparkle that you may have, please join us. We need you. We need you. We want you. We want you. And you can find more information and you can keep updated with us. For that, please be sure to follow us on our social media channels, to subscribe to our newsletter. We have many channels and we fuel them, so don't hesitate. All the links can be found in the link tree that my colleague is sharing now in the chat box. Please check. And the session today has also been recorded. We will post it on the World Food Forum YouTube account. So yeah, stay tuned, definitely. Don't be shy. Again, we're repeating ourselves, but contact us, raise your voices, spread the message across like all your networks, and be part of the solution with us.
Yes, thank you so much again. And we look forward to seeing you in October and also with our challenges.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Thank you, everyone.